Hello everyone, today we're taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Series number 79, Tele-Viper and Cobra Flight Bod, parentheses, Trouble Bubble. Apparently, some people get mad if you call it a Trouble Bubble, so I will be exclusively calling it a Trouble Bubble this whole video. But yes, this is a gift that I got from my friends for my birthday a few days ago, which I'm very grateful for. Means the world to me. I really do appreciate the fact that you did this. But yeah, we'll get to that later at the end of the video. But right now, this is a very cool figure. I love the Tele-Vipers. The Tele-Vipers are some of my favorite, just generic Cobra, I guess, soldiers. I've always liked the look a lot. As you can see, I have my original one back there from when I was a kid, sitting on those barrels. But I love the Trouble Bubble. I love it. It's one of my favorite Cobra vehicles. It's so goofy and cartoonish, and I just love the way that it looks. It looks like a flying porta potty. But before we get to that, I want to take a look at the Tele-Viper itself. So let's move this out of the way. And here we have the Tele-Viper. I love the Tele-Viper. Like I said, I love the design. It's one of my favorite Cobra designs. I like this look a lot of the blue and the purple. It kind of stands out from a lot of your, average looking Cobra soldiers. Like if you put it next to your Bats, your Crimson Guards, or whatever, it has a nice pop to it. The purple is really nice. The blue, the whole jumpsuit thing. These legs are reused from Recondo, by the way. I don't know what else here is, because a lot of it's covered up, but these legs are Recondo's legs, which are fine. They work really well and they fit pretty well for the character, but those are just reused there. I love this like overlay vest piece that we've got going on here. I think it looks really good. It kind of reminds you of Marty's puffy jacket from Back to the Future. On the belt there, you can see there's a whole bunch of pouches. Got some sort of iPod mini there going on, which is pretty funny. There's a whole bunch of different pouches and everything here. Spaces for like little bits of electronic, I presume, since this is not as much a soldier as it is like a technical like communications officer. That's what they usually are used for. There's a nice wrist like PDA situation right here on the right side. On the left side, a watch. Which, by the way, both of these are removable, which is pretty cool. So you can swap them out or take them off if you don't like it at all, which is a nice touch. The head sculpt on here, this dude is angry. He is very, very angry, which makes sense for most of the toy designs. They look like that. I really wish that there was like a print or like one of the alternate heads had like the dialogue running across it like it does in the cartoon, because whenever they see the Tele-Viper in the cartoons, there's like a big like uh-oh or what on its face, because apparently they talk through that for some reason in the cartoon. I don't know why. It's just a fun visual thing, and I like that was in there. I would have liked to have seen that in the toy, but I guess you could just get a little red like Gundam pen and write that on there, which I might do at some point. But yeah, this figure is really solid. This is a really nice figure, and I'm glad that the Trouble Bubble came with one. I do think, though, that at some point in the line we will get this on the retro card. So if you don't want a Trouble Bubble and you just want a Tele-Viper, it's probably only a matter of time before it shows up on the retro card, because this is not the classic retro card Tele-Viper look, because it doesn't have the sleeveless detail, and that is because there's an alternate head with a different skin tone. And apparently people got mad about this. I personally don't care. I think it's good that we have alternate heads because it allows for better army building. But apparently people get mad about it. It's basically the exact same head. I thought it was literally the exact same, but if we take the other head and bring it in, you can see that it is a mirrored version of that head. I thought it was the same one, but no, it's mirrored. So they just flipped the whole mold, and then that's the alternate head, and they just painted it brown. So it's basically the exact same head sculpt, but just like flipped the other way around. I think that's fine. I think that's good. Like I would have preferred that over if they had just painted the same thing on there. But that's also not the only alternate head that it comes with. Here is the third head, which is almost like cyberpunky. It is a really like creepy looking head sculpt. I think it looks really good. I like it a lot. If it's a reference to something, I don't know what, but it kind of looks like more like a VR headset, and like this could even be like a robot or something. Like I don't know. It's really weird and creepy looking. It looks like something out of Metal Gear. But I like it. I think it looks good. And again, adds for more utility. If you want an army build, you have just a whole bunch of different types of these guys hanging around. This could be like a commander or something. But it's just a really creepy looking head sculpt. But I like that a lot. It works really well. As for the articulation and everything on this, it's very standard. Head is on a ball, of course. There is a ball at the bottom here of the neck, so it allows for nice range of motion there. There's an ab crunch in here, but it is blocked by this torso piece, so it doesn't really have, so you can't really do much with it. But there's a ball joint here at the waist as well, so you get plenty of motion there. Butterfly joints, as per usual, they go for the back, they do forward. 360 here at the bicep, swivel here, double jointed pinless elbows. Both hands go in. They don't go up or down, which makes it a little hard to aim with the rifle, like the techno rifle that this guy comes with. But that's fine. I mean, I feel like you're probably gonna have him on the Trouble Ball most of the time, anyways. Drop down hips as per usual. Those lock back up. Swivel here at the upper thigh, double jointed, pinless knees, and they bend really well. I don't really have any problems with this figure, honestly. Rarely do I have a figure that comes out of the packaging and there's no like super tight or super loose joints. Like everything here is really, really solid. Swivel here at the calf, up and down the foot, like this. 4-frame spin for rocker. It's a very standard figure, and I appreciate the fact that this is one of the times where I don't have to hit it with a hairdryer to make it better articulated. So yeah. Now, as for weapons and accessories, they are quite limited, but that's also because most of the budget went into the Trouble Bubble. But it does come with the standard backpack, like laser rifle, sonic weapon thing that the Tele-Viper's always had, with the giant backpack here with the antennae, the tube run through it, which these are all separate pieces. You can take them off. I thought that this was going to go in there at some point, but I was wrong. No, but this is the standard, Tele-Viper blaster situation. It's just like a giant megaphone that even has a little peg in there, so if you have a blast effect, you can stick it in there. I don't have one that could fit in there, but there's a space for it in there as well. It's a nice sculpt. It's like a giant cannon. Same to the backpack here. I love the sculpt of the backpack. It reminds me of the one that it came with that guy, but I lost that one years ago. It is just a bigger version of that one. I like it a lot. I like the purple, the black, everything. And if you want, you can unequip it and just wrap the tube around his arm there and pour it in the back, so he can have his weapon on him. We just have it on the back, which is a really nice touch. However, you kind of got to take this off if you want to set him in that, because he's not going to sit right with this in there. But there's another accessory here as well, and that is this mine, this like floating mine piece. That in the original toy, came with the Trouble Bubble, was huge. It was like the size of the Trouble Bubble. This is a lot smaller than that. This is very small. It's like handheld. I don't know if this was in an episode of the show or anything, but it's cool. Caution, highly explosive, handle with care. To remove, press latch release, which you can remove here. This back piece, so you can look at the individual wire and everything, pins and whatever in there, and just pop this on. It is like a big floating mine or whatever. It's cool. However, there's really like nowhere you can store it. It just kind of sits around, so it'll probably end up being in my fodder box. But it's a nice touch. It came with the original one, which is nice that they included it. Yeah, it's just a big, basically just flying mine that this, I presume the Trouble Bubble just ejects like as like a explosive or something. But yeah, that's what it comes with. And here we have the main event. This is the Trouble Bubble, or the Cobra Flight Pod, if that makes you happy. But this is great. It really is. I love this thing. I've always loved the Trouble Bubble. Trouble Bubble is always one of my favorite of the Cobra vehicles because it's so goofy and absurd. It's just a jetpack with a chair and a big like glass shield over it. That's all it is. It is horribly impractical and probably a nightmare to fly, but I love it. I love the design. I think it looks really good. Getting off the spinny base here. Oh boy. Just take a closer look. This thing is wild. It is really good looking. It's a lot bigger than I thought. Like obviously it has to be pretty big to fit a person in it, but it is pretty chunky. It is pretty decently sized. There's a lot of like detailing on here, a lot of words and letters that I don't know what they mean. They mean something. As you can see, it has taken down 3 Skystrikers. There's an issue in mine here where when it came, it was missing this. There's supposed to be a connector piece here that makes these move at the exact same time, but mine didn't have one, which sucks. But whatever, it's only missing like a little piece. I'm not that mad about it. As you can see, danger, hot exhaust. Yeah, this is the engines. On the side here, it says fuse, caution, electric, pull, and twist to release. A whole bunch of just like mechanical stuff on here, like telling you basically don't touch this thing. It's a death trap. Whole bunch of little individual like electronic panels in here, keyboards, a radar, like all these little things on here. And for once, it has a seat belt, which the original one did not. So, you know, if you sit in this thing, you're not going to get kicked out of it by Snake Eyes, which is a nice touch. It's actually removable, and you can put somebody in there. It's a really nice touch. On the screen here, there is a X-Wing styled like radar scanner on here that is like just telling you where the next target is, presumably. There's a swivel here. This was attached. I had to attach this. This is a ball joint here, a little blaster rifle or whatever, with a peg in there. So if you have any blast effects, you can stick it in there. Same thing with these rockets. These rockets are removable. You can take them off these little stand here, but I keep them on there. You don't really need to remove them. If I can slide that back in there, there we go. This is really cool. I mean, the thing is, it just looks really solid. Like, they really did a great job with this, and you can put somebody in it. So, for instance, if you want, you can take one of the twins here, slide him in. Just gotta make sure he fits through the seatbelt there. Sit him on here, lock his head in. The issue really is just getting this locked in because it is a softer plastic, so the seatbelt doesn't always want to click in all the way. So it just takes a minute. If you can find the right way to do it, you can get in there pretty easily. There we go. That got it in there. All right, so that's in there now. You can fold this up, put his hands on the handlebars here, get him on this one as well. There's nowhere to put his feet, so his feet just kind of get to dangle and hang out of it, which is not a great look. Close the pod canopy down. Make sure that these lock in, because sometimes they don't. I don't know what's up. The dimensions for like the pins that the canopy goes into, they aren't lined up perfectly, so you have to kind of squeeze it in, which I'm not too worried about. I don't think it's going to break or anything, but it should have just been able to lock in there very easily. So yeah, now you have someone in the trouble bubble, and man, that looks real dumb. I love it. It's great. It is such a good look, but man, you look like such a dork in this thing. Because presumably, the way that this works is you just go like at that direction, and that seems like such a death trap. Like, that seems horrifying. Why would you want to be in this thing? This is like a death machine. I feel like these crash always. Like, this is not secure. Nothing about this is safe. Nothing about this is OSHA certified. This is just a complete death trap. Look at these exhausts right next to your legs. Like, this thing on your back. This thing cooks probably. There's no way that this thing is an internal cooling system. This thing is hot. This thing is burning hot all the time. Speaking of hot, if you take the legs from Cannonball, Marvel Legends Cannonball, not really the legs, just the fire piece. If you take the fire piece from the Marvel Legends Cannonball, I have it from the Wendigo Wave, you can create yourself a little makeshift trouble bubble stand, because there really isn't like a decent stand that holds that. This is the best that I found, and it actually doesn't look half bad. I think it actually looks pretty good, even though the engines are back here. It's fine from there. Whatever. If you point it like in this direction, you don't even really notice. Like, it looks way better. Like, if you do that. So if you have one of those, there's a very good stand for it. And also, you can probably find these pretty cheap. Like, that figure goes for like $14 in the aftermarket. So if you get a whole bunch of trouble bubbles, get a whole bunch of those like leg pieces. There you go. You got something for this to stand on, and it looks really good. Especially if you put them next to, like, for instance, the Tele-Viper that it comes with, it adds a lot of height to it, and that looks really good. So this will probably look really good on a Cobra shelf. And for size comparison, here is the Trouble Bubble and the Tele-Viper next to another set of a vehicle and a character. Here we have the Ram Cycle and the Tiger Force Duke. So you can see how well the vehicles scale together. The Ram Cycle is actually bigger than I thought. But yeah, no, they look fucking really good together. I love this Trouble Bubble. It's so dorky and stupid, and I love it. It's so good. Here's the Tele-Viper next to some Cobra army builders that like him. There is the Cobra Bat and the Cobra Crimson Guard. Really nice together. You get a whole bunch of these guys. You got yourself a nice Cobra army coming along. It looks really good together. And lastly, here it is next to the most recent vehicle released, the Vamp, which I can't even really compare. You can see the size difference, though, of the Vamp to the Trouble Bubble. So it's probably going to take a few Trouble Bubbles to take down the Vamp. And so there is the Trouble Bubble and Tele-Viper 2-pack. I love this thing. It is so good. If you can get one, you should totally get one. Again, special thanks to Peachy for shipping this to me, my good friend Peachy, who shipped me a lot of things for its review on this channel before. And so I thank you yet again. Link to the TikTok on the screen here if you can still access it, because TikTok might not be around for a while. But thank you again so much. Really means the world to me. And also, thank you to the channel A Punk with Toys for recently shouting me out a few days ago, by the time this uploads, thank you for that. Go check him out if you don't already, because you probably already subscribed to him. So thank you so very much for sticking to this. If you liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, everything that needs to get done for me to keep doing these videos that I like to make. I'm editing, not editing, but I'm writing the script for a video on the Duke comic right now, which I'm very excited to get around to. So yeah, thank you so much. Check out the Discord, my Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Go check all that out. I will see you next time. Yo, Joe.